right. Here's a question. I got a question for you. Have you guys ever done a PTA, or have you ever been on like local school council? Have you done either one of those?
My mother, when I was a kid, she used to go to the PTA. But what's that stand for? What's that the acronym for?
Parent Teacher Association.
Association.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an association of parents and teachers. But have you ever been involved in it?
No.
Yeah. Stan, ever been involved?
I'm a pretty crappy parent, so they try to lessen my role as much as they can.
I love. You know what? I mean, I've literally been in a school for 25 years, and I've never sat in on a PTA meeting of any kind because I know we had something like that.
Right.
I did sit in on the local school council for my school, the board, and I will tell you this: there was not, and this is no offense to anybody who lives in that neighborhood. There was not a person there with I think, an education above maybe freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I've never met a group of people so horrifically incapable of guiding a school in any way, shape,
Oh,
or
I thought you
form.
were going to say, so you mean they actually got work done? Because usually people
No,
with
no, they do
PhDs and
nothing.
master's degrees,
No, they did nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did nothing, but they were just there to kind of like earmark the principal and say yes. Here, I'll tell you, this is a funny story, okay? So when I first got to the school, right, way back 25 years ago, the principal had just gotten kicked out for stealing money from the school. Okay, so there she is. She's done. She's out. She was a gambleaholic. She stole like $250,000.
Oh, I think you mentioned this before.
I told this story. Okay, so then we get a new principal, right? And I go ahead and when we get a new principal, and he ends up a few years later stealing like $50,000, $100,000.
Wait, are they sure they weren't running for governor of Illinois?
Yeah, I know. It's insane, right? So then he gets caught stealing it. Now here's the local school council. After the second person in a row, 2 people in a row, right? This is what they do. They interview our local school council, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this guy?" And this is what one of the idiots on our board said: "We love him so much, we take him back right now." And this went out all over the country. We were literally, after 2 principals in a row, caught stealing. That was their response, that we loved him so much.
He
that
sounds
would,
like a fool.
Yeah. That's what an LSC, to me, that is all an LSC is, and that's what scares me.
So basically it's somebody who's extraordinarily incompetent,
Exactly.
who's unable to take the temperature in the room, completely unaware, situationally unaware of anything.
I honestly believe that.
So it's like working for the SEC.
Well, no, you know what? I mean, because I'm looking at this stuff, because the reason I brought it up is I found these stories like the last 2 weeks of all these things that have happened with the PTA and the LSC. Okay, so of course there's an LSC chick. I think Stan from where you are, Maryland. The PTA. They got I don't know, like $100,000. I don't know, whatever they collected from dues or something, and she ends up stealing the money, $100,000. Okay, now this is the funniest part. They got her the job, and when she got on the board, or on the PTA thing, she was actually, and this is weird, under indictment from her job for stealing. Yeah,
So
so
my
she was already stolen,
and
then they gave her money to steal.
then she restole.
She restole.
But so the funniest thing, it reminds me of this lady. She used to be the comptroller of, I remember it was Dixon, Illinois, which is like a small town. I think it's where a prison used to be. So this woman apparently stole somehow $20 million, legitimately, over a course of like her 18 years.
Wait, hold on. Betty Lauren Maltese, is that her name?
No,
that's a different one?
That was the mayor of Cicero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Okay.
woman, whatever. But she had a horse farm, and obviously...
Oh, Arabian Stallions. Yeah, this chick she had Arabian Stallions. Yeah, that's how much money she stole.
Yeah. So, and apparently nobody was able to figure out how a public servant making, say, $75,000 to $90,000 a year had a mansion, sports cars, her own stable full of horses, and apparently, I guess she wouldn't allow any independent auditors to come in to audit the finances of the city. So she was basically in charge of everything. So it was like a black box operation. She did everything, and the way she got busted is hilarious. So she was going on vacation. I'm sure a well-deserved vacation because stealing can be exhausting after a while.
Yeah, you know how difficult it is to continue to steal.
So here's the funny thing. So whoever her sub was, her substitute or replacement for that period of time, this woman leaves whatever icon on her desktop where once you double click on it, like all the bad
Wait, I know the name of this file. All the shit I stole and the proof that says I stole it.
It was perfect. Yeah, it was perfect. It was like, yeah. So that was it. It's like she just double clicked on whatever her desktop was, and it was all right there. and she had been embezzling for years. And and here's the funny thing: yeah, she got busted, and I think she got like 15 years. She had to pay back millions of dollars and everything, and but it's just comical. Like, how could nobody not? Like $20 million to Dixon. I mean, that's got to be a lot of money for a smaller city like that.
Sure, it's super small. I mean, that's a tiny, tiny little suburb. So that's basically all the money. If it's $20 million, she basically stole all the money.
I'm the mayor. I'm like, okay, hey, folks, we need $20,000 for this sewer project. We had it. Okay, we have it in our escrow. What are we going to do to start the project? Mr. Mayor, the money, it's not there. I'm like, what do you mean it's not there? It was there.
It has to be there. I'm buying a new horse tomorrow.
And then it's there.
Got some real nice horses.
Oh, that's not even, dude. Why would you switch? That's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Why is our comptroller flying in on a helicopter?
Yeah.
On the Trump jet.
Is that the town Lamborghini? Yes, it is. That is the town Lamborghini. My town Lamborghini.
It's just amazing that it took 20 years for anyone to just figure it out. And she only got caught by complete happenstance, just because she was just so brazen and so full of herself.
Well, the worst thing is all those places. There's always rumors about everybody,
Yeah.
and nobody ever believes it. Like, no, she's not a crook, and
Oh, she was a major crook.
$20 million crook.
Yeah.
A good one at that.
She made Rob Blagojevich look like. Well, actually, Rob Blagojevich. The funny thing, he got 14 years. He never stole anything.
Doing this again?
No, I'm just saying. He actually he talked about stealing, which I guess is the same in the eyes of the law.
It's not the same. Listen, talking about raping or talking about murdering or talking about kidnapping is not the same as doing any of those things.
Well, you might want to
not
keep
the
that.
same.
You want to keep that. That would be your inside voice.
Yeah,
Just-
that is
just
not
for
the same.
future reference.
No, and this is the reason. One of the reasons I brought this up, because this story was really cool that I thought was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a woman, and she is the PTA president, right? And some parents, I guess she has said something to one of the parents about their kid being slow. Okay, now you would think that sounds terrible, right?
No, it sounds like Ted.
No, but not slow like.
Kid was in molasses. You put him in molasses, and he couldn't move because
not like
not
slow,
that slow.
not slow, not dumb slow.
Slow down.
The kid was physically slow,
like a sloth.
Yeah.
He just didn't move very quickly.
Yeah, so he was physically sloth-like. So every time they did something, he was last or he was late or something like that. So she mentioned he was slow. Well, his parents, who are very well off, right? This is a very nice little community, lose their shit, and they decide that they don't want her to be president anymore, okay? And this is what the guy does. They're both lawyers, which makes it even funnier.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. They go ahead and they hire someone to plant drugs in her car.
Wow.
Right? And then the guy calls up and says, oh, they're the blue Toyota Tercel right down the street. And there's a woman sitting in there, and she's got like cocaine in her.
That's like I don't know who invitation that was, but that was.
I don't know what that is.
That's like
but
a guy that will get out of prison.
The cops, of course, come. They bust her, right? And then all the stuff starts to come out that none of this was her and that these people did it, and she sued. Now she's just the president of the PTA. This is it. That's her gig. $5.7 million she won.
Wow.
Is that nuts? I mean, $5.7 million. And my favorite part is these two lawyers thought they could get away with it.
Well, the fact that we're talking about it, shows that they obviously didn't. It's just so cockamamie. It's actually pretty funny when you think about it. And
I'm still trying to figure that kid out, though. Why couldn't I go to school with a kid like that?
Yeah,
You'd have to get some good nicknames for him.
Well, you definitely wouldn't be the last in any race. You'd definitely beat him, like king of.
Well, I'm getting visuals of him like walking down the school hall, like in slow motion.
Are his arms like hanging down to the floor like a sloth? They're actually like a lot longer than normal, and then they kind of drag along the ground.
I have no idea, but Stan, I got to tell you, you got to move that microphone closer to your face. It has to be. Why don't you just move the microphone instead of leaning over?
Can you hear me?
You look like you're gonna make love to a midget. Yeah. All right. There you go. All right. So let's get this thing started, because there's a voice that everybody wants to hear, because almost nobody has ever heard this voice before. You realize that?
I don't even know the man.
He's your golf nemesis.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's get this thing rolling, and then we'll see where we're at here. Hey, everybody. My name is Matt, and this is the Real Three Idiots podcast. With me, as always, is a man who deserves his just due. He has beaten me the last 2 times golfing with strokes. Teddy.
Hey, everybody. It's Happy Monday. Glad to be here. What episode is this, out of curiosity? I
don't know. Put your pen down, though. No more pen, no more phone. We're done with both of those. Is this? 62? This is show 63 or 64.
Okay.
Yeah, 63 or 64.
But Teddy's looking very lawyerly, like with his pen and his pad and.
Yeah, but here, take that pen away from him. Just take that pen. Yeah, Stan, throw that pen. Throw the pen.
Just throw it?
Literally throw the pen someplace else. No, I'm serious. Ted cannot. Ted's not. There you go. Thank you. Ted's not allowed to play with pens. Yeah, he's not allowed to do any of this stuff. This is so funny.
But there's breakable stuff down here I didn't want to like miss, and
There's a whole basement down there. There's a whole bunch of shit that's not breakable. But this is great. So Ted gets here, right? And I'm like, hey man, what's going on? And he goes, listen, my daughter needs an Uber, so I'm gonna be on the phone while we're recording. And I was like, what? Your fully capable daughter cannot Uber herself. Ted has to do it. So this is why there's no sound. Ted is literally playing on his phone, trying to get his daughter to
I can
Uber.
multitask.
You cannot multitask, Ted. I've seen you. You can barely task.
This is actually the second Uber. Apparently, the first Uber driver couldn't make it to the exact address that I gave him. He was like about 200 feet away, which defeats the whole purpose of going to the address that you give. So,
Oh my
Not
god!
his fault.
This is so
could be a
weird.
glitch.
Dude, this is so weird to me when you do this. This is so weird to me. Okay, Mark is once again on assignment. Teddy knows we sent him to Vegas to check out the Kiss Museum.
nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. What we didn't tell him was we also sent Linda from the Bigfoot Museum there to meet him. So we're actually hoping he makes it back. Yeah, I have no idea what her connections are, or if there are big feet in the desert. What would a deserty Bigfoot be? Like, what would you?
Well, the Arctic version's the Yeti or the abominable snowman. Is that the word?
Yeah, so
Yeti.
this would have to be a skinless one because if well, you couldn't be in the desert with all that hair on you, right? So this would have to be like
It
a
would have
hairless
It
dog.
would have like a hump like a camel because I'm assuming they have it to store water.
So a hairless
Would it break-
Bigfoot with a hump.
Would it braid camels?
Oh my god, that is. You know what? Now that I think about it, that is one of the most terrifying things I have ever. Oh man, could you imagine how ugly a hairless Bigfoot would be? Oh my god,
It's like a chimpanzee with alopecia.
Oh no, we're not doing that alopecia thing, man. I can't believe.
I just like saying alopecia.
I know you do. Okay, so in his place is someone as I said, only a few people have ever heard in their lives. This is one of the original Three Idiots from our inaugural show that has been forever purged. Our very good friend Stan.
What's up? Thanks for the invite.
Hey, no problem. We've been dying to get you back on so people can actually, for the few people that actually heard the show, we did such a terrible job with the sound that it was almost unlistenable. It really was.
It was like the Wright brothers with the first airplane at Kitty Hawk. It was the one before that. It was like 3 miles before that. That's a bad.
Well, it was the one that didn't fly. So the first show was the one that all the ones that didn't fly up until it did fly.
It flew for 2 seconds
Yeah.
and it crashed and blew
And there were
up.
mass casualties.
It counts.
Yeah.
It counts.
It counts.
It flew.
Got off the
No,
ground.
it didn't count.
Oh man, I like that. Okay, and this was something I forgot about this. You guys remember the Three Stooges?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Of course.
so you know the third Stooge? There was like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, there was always Mo and Larry.
There's always
but
Mo
there was
and
always
Larry.
that third different Stooge. There was Curly Joe,
Curly was there a long time.
Curly, and then there was Larry
Shemp?
Joe.
Shemp?
Shemp.
Yeah,
Shemp.
Shemp.
I think he was the brother. I think actually Shemp was the biological brother of Mo or Larry. One of the. I think Mo. He was actually the biological
I don't
brother.
know, man. But
And
they
then
started.
They had Joe, I think. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, they had a Curly Joe.
Yeah,
they had a Joe.
Curly Joe was
Yeah,
like the
Then they had a
least-
couple of random guys. They
Yeah.
just like hired random stooges. Yeah, and then I didn't realize this because I gotta look this up. There was actually one where they had a Shemp, and I guess he died, and they just needed some shots, so they got a guy who looked like Shemp and just took video. It was one of the movies, and just was all the shots were just of this guy's back.
Okay.
So you could hear his voice,
Yeah.
right? But it was just this guy's back, and he's just standing there, and it just looked like Shemp. And it was like that really bad, because it was like from the 40s or something.
Yeah.
The really bad cut-in, like how you saw like Godzilla, and you could see the strings of Godzilla flying and the planes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and do you ever see their hair back then too? They like took a glob of like black hair dye and like slicked it all back. So
But that was the style, right?
they could probably all have them.
Well, they used to do their own stunts, like the Three Stooges. Like so when they did
Their own stunts.
Yeah, so I guess like there was one episode
What are
where
they,
like
Jackie Chan?
Mo's standing on like a table, and then like someone kicks the legs out of tables, and he falls off the table, and he actually did break his ribs, and then he gets up, he slaps Larry, but I think like he actually passed out after that scene. He's like so.
I don't want to do that. No, I just brought that up. I do not. I would never do my own
Wait,
stunts.
let me ask you this: when's the last time you saw a show where a grown man slapped another grown man?
Well, I was going to say they could never make that anymore.
They could never make
because
that anymore. Yeah, and the
they
second grown man didn't retaliate. He just kind of stood there. And
They used
said,
to
okay.
beat the crap out of each other all the time.
Mo was very aggressive.
It was. You know what?
Kinda
That's,
like
you know what's
ADHD.
funny?
He's kinda
It
angry.
was a very violent. That was such a violent thing.
Yeah,
and we watched that as
He's
kids.
pulling hair. He's like pulling Larry's hair. He's like slapping.
Yeah, and he's always
curling
poking
the
one of
back
the
of the
guys.
head.
He's always poking the
In the
guys in the
eyes?
eye.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like you ever watch Speed Racer when you were a kid? It was the same thing. They were like whacking each other with wrenches and stuff. I'm like,
No, my favorite was the Tom.
What?
The Tom.
yeah. You never saw that?
Why? What? You know
Chim
what?
Chim and Spradle and
Do you ever, if you ever wonder why all the people that we know are the way we know, and the world is like this? We grew up in a really, really violent
Look
place.
at the cartoons. So Tom and Jerry, I mean, they're trying to like literally kill each other. It was like Rem and Stimpy. Like there's poisons, there's axes, there's anvils, there's
Yeah,
there's
they literally
shotguns.
cut- Oh, yeah.
yeah.
They
A lot of
cut each other's stuff off.
A lot of Machiavellian stuff going on.
Why was that a cartoon? What made somebody? See, that's the thing. That's the thing about adult men making cartoons,
I
right?
enjoyed it.
No, but I mean, what's the motivation? It's like, we could have them go to a really cool amusement park, and they could do some of that stuff, or we could have the mouse cut the cat's head off, then his leg off, and listen, we could do one where he cuts his dick off, but we may or may not be able to show that one.
And then set him on fire.
Yeah. I mean, they've done all that. What was the motivation for little kids? Why was that something that was good for me?
My biggest question was, remember the Roadrunner, the coyote could never catch the Roadrunner, so he always ordered that stuff from Acme Company. I'm just saying, with all that money you're spending at Acme, couldn't you just order like a frozen Roadrunner dinner? Why not just get 10 Roadrunners?
Why didn't he ever hire a hitman, Ted? Why didn't he ever hire a hitman?
Or hire a chef to make him a Roadrunner soup or something. I mean, here's my question. Here's all I want to know is, like, how much money did the coyote spend at Acme Company on all the shit he bought to try to catch the Roadrunner, and he obviously never did? $10,000?
You know what's funny? Did they ever let him, like, at any point?
no, I don't think so.
No, I think he had him one time like this, and then like the cliff broke off, and he just went.
No, that was every time. Like, who's the guy that was always trying to get Bugs Bunny? The hunter guy.
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer
Elmer
Fudd,
Fudd.
yeah.
Did they ever, at any point, let him get did they ever kill Bugs Bunny?
No.
Is that how it ended? Like, when it ended, it was just like, all right, it's the last show, guys. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have Elmer Fudd catch him, okay? We're going to have him cut him into pieces. We're going to have him cook him and eat him, and that's the entire show.
Wait, what about Yosemite Sam? He was an ornery bastard too.
Everybody was mean. Everybody was so angry back then.
And he was drunk too. There's no way he could be that mean without being drunk.
He's a bad drunk.
He's a mean drunk.
He's a mean drunk.
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird to me, man. I have no idea how it works, but it just seems really weird to me.
Daffy Duck obviously had a speech impediment, So
Isn't that how a duck talks? I don't know.
How does a duck talk, Ted?
Well, apparently like Daffy Duck.
Yeah, I have no idea how a duck talks, but
Or
yeah,
does he talk like Donald?
Oh, Donald Duck. I'm thinking of
No.
Donald Duck was the one that.
Donald Duck and Daffy Duck both had speech
Yeah.
impediments.
So,
Oh,
was it a
they
lisp?
were slow.
Was it a lisp?
Aw, that's
Physically, that's great. That's the best.
Physically
so
slow.
she actually meant physically slow, and usually
Yeah.
the insult would be implying someone is mentally slow. But no, she should have clarified, like, oh, your son is slow, like he doesn't move very fast.
But even then, do you plant drugs on a car? You don't. Listen, your response to, hey, even if somebody walks up and says, "Hey, man, your kid's a little stupid." All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to wreck this bitch's life. We're going to put drugs in her car. We're going to get her arrested. She'll lose everything, and that'll teach her to make a comment about my son.
Which is true, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's, because parents don't have any unrealistic expectations. What do you mean? He eats good dirt. That's good dirt he's eating. He's not eating shitty dirt. Yeah, that's good. Those boogers that he eats every day.
$50 a snail. He picks his nose.
Listen,
Come on, kid, you can do it. He was hungry. Look at that.
I never underestimate the insanity that parents or people do. So when I read this, I was just like, some of the things I was like, yeah, that's not real. Yeah, that was as real as hell.
Hey, you know what? Maybe the kids. Maybe obviously it's not the kids' fault. But the parents, like I said, that's just weird that they would go through that
was their first.
I thought they were going to write a complaint letter, like a complaint letter to
Ted,
like, I want to see the manager, I want to see your supervisor type.
No, they went
thing.
way past
Okay.
that. There was listen. As I was reading this,
They went
there's-
beyond the mysterious beyond.
There's more details to this thing, but basically they went right from point 0 to 10 immediately. They just turned it up.
Ted, give me your stash.
Yeah.
Why? We're going to put it in the teacher's car.
Yeah.
Why? You're going to get her high so she likes us? No.
Nope. She's going to jail.
So now my question is this: I'm assuming both parents are arrested and obviously not coming home anytime soon, and the kid's going to go to like DCFS custody or something. So
no, it was just a civil suit.
Oh,
Nobody's going to prison for that, especially not people with a ton of money. Yeah, but somebody, I don't remember if the school had to pay for it, if the parents, but yeah, $5.7 million into this chick's pocket.
yeah, that's that's a good deal. I'll take some planted drugs for $5.7 million.
Heck yeah, man.
Wait, but you know what, dude? If she doesn't doesn't find out, like if people don't find out,
Yeah.
her life is ruined.
Sure.
She was only like maybe a half a step away from being a drug dealer and all this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
being arrested and have everything ruined on you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough gig, man, and you don't come back from that. I read a story the other day, like a guy gets busted for something. I don't remember what it was. They said he did something, and immediately within 3 days he's fired. He loses within a year. He loses his house.
Yeah.
His wife leaves. The whole deal. Find out 2 years later when everything's done, completely, totally innocent. Everything's there, and the guy says one thing. I watched the video. He says one thing, man. It hurt me when I saw this. He goes, "What do I do now?"
Yeah. Because you can't press. That's the funny thing. So he's cleared, but the point is he still can't get any of it back, though.
But dude, it was. I'm telling you, man. The most real thing I've ever seen when the guy just looks right. He happens to just look right into the camera. He goes, "What do I do now?"
Yeah. Well, I guess the good news is my advice to him, even though he's not asking, I just say, well, you know what? You can get to start with a clean slate. You're officially reborn.
Yeah, but
just
you
press
know
the
there's a
reset
ton of
button.
people, even if he's cleared, who automatically think that. But
well, you got to move away. You got to move
Teddy,
away.
you can't be 30 years old or 40 years old, whatever it is, and you have zero and you start over again.
Here's what you do.
That's not a fresh slate.
You know what my tip is for that guy? Move to Thailand, live on the beach, teach English, and have like 3 mistresses. Yeah, so you've actually just traded up. See? Okay, problem solved. Next question.
Stan, is he a genius? He's a goddamn genius. He's a goddamn genius. Now, it's funny. His real tip today is going to suck, but this one, the right off the top of the head is going to be good.
Yeah, Ted's tip.
Yeah,
I don't know. That
so
doesn't sound good.
so he's from so this guy. Let's just assume this guy's from Anytown, USA, where there's a lot of closed-minded people who are still whispering behind his back that he did it, even though in fact he was legally cleared. You know what? Just blow it all up. Get out of there. Move to Thailand. Move to South Korea. Move to Japan. I don't want 4 different girlfriends every day of the week. That would be too boring. You're right. Yeah, just stay where you are and be miserable. Forget it. Never mind.
Ted, I see a pattern here. I really do see a pattern.
South
here.
Africa, Belgium.
You're just getting away from that now. You're just getting away from it. Okay. So we got to do Ted's tips. Okay. And I've got something very special. I'm going to do my sponsor, and then I've got something very, very special that Mark sent to me.
Oh.
Okay. So let's do this really fast. If you're like me, you've probably been arrested for public indecency near senior citizens' homes a lot. Well, that problem is a thing of the past. The folks at Acme have just what you need. They've come up with a new app that lets you know if you're within a half mile of an elder care facility. It's called the SAG. The SAG will immediately let you know if you've strayed too close to an old person or their place of residence. That's right. This new app will make sure that if you feel the need to strip naked and run around flashing your junk and you get nabbed by the popo, you won't have the added charge of elder flashing. Check out The SAG by Acme. Acme, we care, just not about the same stuff you do. All right. Dude, it's funny that you brought up Acme because, being at a real company, it just kind of blows my mind.
Is there a company called Acme?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, they've already sponsored us, I think, like 3 times already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Acme.
All right, so now I've got something very special on my phone here from Mark for us today. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
here we go.
Looking forward to it.
Let's see.
All right, thanks, Matt. Hey, Stan, thank you for filling in. You look great. Teddy, you look the same. Thanks for dressing up for Stan. Hey, Ted, this is a recording. Please don't talk to me. All
Okay.
right, we're good? Okay, we understand? Okay, here we go. I'm going to sing the intro to Ted's Tips. 3, 2, 1. This is a story of Teddy G and Matty U, 2 podcasters with nothing better to do than sit around Matt's house, get drunk and let it rip. And here's what happens when they decided on Ted's Tips. They headed down to a path with tons of hassles. That's where Ted teaches us like we're assholes. Teddy then tipped the men while eating White Castles. And Matty said, hey, take the tip and run. Hoo, go on, take the tip and run. Oh, Teddy, go on, take the tip and run. Yeah. Teddy's tips is just as bad as taxes. He never knows what the facts is. He ain't gonna let those 2 thoughts escape his mind. He makes his tips up as he relaxes. And Matt Stan, whoa, slapped his face. And Teddy G woke up the very next day. He said his mind, hey, you know, it got away. He headed down south and it's still shrinking today. Singing, go on, Teddy, tip and run. Yeah, go on, take the tip and run. Oh, Teddy, go on, Teddy, tip and run. Yeah, go on. Ted, tip the listener. Listener, please run. Ladies and gentlemen, Ted's tips.
Wow, he's good even when he's not here. That's pretty good.
Oh man, that is absolutely
So my only
awesome.
question
That
is how much extra do you pay to have to slap that male prostitute when you made that sound like that? I'll ask
wait,
when he gets back.
That's what we're thinking. That was a male prostitute.
No, that was a slapping a male prostitute. That was him.
That was getting.
Oh, he wasn't he was clapping. Okay. Got it. Okay, never mind.
God Almighty!
I got my wires.
What the?
I got my wires. It's in Vegas. I just put 2 and 2 together. So
You said that's coffee, but what else is in there, Ted?
Yeah.
Caffeine.
Yeah. No. You know what? That's the thing. I told you. Teddy shows up today and he goes, oh man, I was out. I got an early dinner and blah 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 and everything, and I know where he ate. And I'm just like, oh, you've been drinking? He goes, no, not at all. I said, I thought you weren't going to drink. He goes, no, I wasn't drinking. And then he does that stupid smile. I'm like, let me get this straight. You went to a restaurant, like a bar restaurant thing. You ate and you didn't have anything to drink. And he looks me right in the eye and he lies to me and he says, didn't have a thing.
No, I had one.
Yeah, there we go.
But one's like you know what one rhymes with none. So that's why one and none is like the same.
I was like, there's no way there's none.
It's like if you had one beer and I said you've been drinking, and you said no, I'd be like, all right, I believe him. It's just one beer. You know what I mean?
Man, you are so full of shit. I you know what? I love that. I totally love that. That is awesome. Okay. Teddy, I'm not gonna. It doesn't bother me.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, I'll know how many you've had after you answer your tip. I will absolutely know that. Okay, let's do this. Ted's tip for this week, and here it comes from our listener. It says, "Hey Ted, I'm Oliver from Sussex. That's in the UK. My girlfriend and I love your tips." Ooh, that almost sounds dirty. I like that. We recently moved into a new flat, and an artist friend gave us a gift. Okay, it's an expensive painting that he made just for us. He implied it was worth several $1,000s, and this is his words, it's awful. The three of us have been friends since primary school, that's got to be grammar school,
It's code
right?
for grade school, Stan.
Code for
K
grade
through
school.
8.
Okay, K through 8 for grade school. Okay. Let's see. My girlfriend and I, we go to his showings, but we really don't like his art. He's very successful, but it's just not our thing. He expects us to proudly display this in a prominent place in our home. You ready? This is my favorite part. It's large and it's rubbish. Ted, we need your help. What can we do?
It's actually pretty funny because art is so subjective anyway. So why would some people pay like $14 million for a painting where we think it's like comical? So I mean, it's just art's a very subjective thing. So that actually, the first point is, there's obviously somebody out there that does like his art. It's just not his friends.
Oh yeah, no. The way they described it was he's very successful. So I mean, he's a professional artist. I mean, that's his living, and he did this very nice things for his friends.
Right. Okay. So here's the tip. I actually thought about this a little bit. And so
hold on a second. That is a lie.
Yeah, that's right up there with only one drink.
The funny thing was I had some multiple scenarios running through my head with this, and I actually came up with what I think is the best case scenario because.
Are you going to give us all the scenarios?
No, I'm going to just give you the one.
Just the winning scenario.
I don't know if it's the winning scenario, but it's the best scenario that I could think of because we need to understand this man's psychology. See, this man has what's called hubris, which means he's full of himself. He truly believes.
Do you talk about the artist?
The artist,
but,
yes.
But he is a professional artist. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
but his friends don't like it.
But hold on. But his friends just don't like his art.
Right.
They like him.
They like him, yeah. So we have to separate. So basically, we have to. So the friends, what they have to do to let the guy down gently, because I'm assuming they're asking us in a roundabout way, how do we let him know that we don't want this monstrosity of this painting in our home without hurting his feelings?
Yes,
so
that's it exactly.
So here's what you're going to do.
Wait, hold on. Before you say anything, just wait. Before you say anything, I do have Dr. Samuel West on the line, and he's going. No, I'm just kidding. He's not here. No, go ahead.
Yeah, of course he'll give a better tip than me, but I'm here and he's not. So So okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're gonna play to his ego. You're going to lie a little bit. You're going to say, this painting that you gave us, that you were so nice enough to give us, it's just too good to display in our house, and it needs to be in a gallery. So here's what we're going to do. We would like you to take the painting And yeah, we and just give us like a wallet size replica of the painting so we can carry it around in our wallets to be reminded of this. And
Ted, he's a professional artist. Are you honestly thinking that he's going to buy? Here's what I don't want. I don't want a 3 foot by 3 foot painting. What I'd like is the wallet size, please.
well, not wallet size, but just something that they could put away, something where like just it's an 8x10 that sits on your desk. That, obviously when he's not there, they could take it out and put it on the table to make it look like they've been displaying it the whole time if he shows up at the house as a guest. But you don't want to have to look at this painting every day. And well, here's another thing: couldn't you just take it down? I'm assuming the guy doesn't live with them, so I mean, let's just say you took down the painting because you don't want to look at it, and the guy shows up and you put it up to make him feel good about himself.
But I mean, no. See, so that's funny because I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But what if you go out and then you go back to their place,
Yeah.
right? And it's not there. Or what if he asks, oh, hey, what if he asks? So let's say there's 10 of us out, right? So we're all partying, right?
Right.
And he says to one of the people, he goes, oh, what do you think of the painting I gave to Oliver and his girlfriend? And somebody goes, what painting? Oh, you mean the one you showed me in your wallet?
But we don't know how big this flat is, right?
No.
So usually in Europe they're pretty small. So I'm guessing that there's not a whole lot of places. You know where I'd put it, Ted? This is just my 10 cents. Put it over the bed, in the master bed.
But then you got to look. They don't like the art. Here's the problem. They
Hey.
don't like it. They have to look at it.
Hey, how often are you in your bedroom, looking at the wall that your bed's on?
Hold
Nope.
on. I mean, if I'm getting pegged or what? I don't know.
I mean, nobody ever goes into your bedroom.
Is there a
right?
cellar?
Any guests in your room?
Is there a wine cellar?
You're usually sleeping or doing other things with the lights off, so you don't really have to look at it very much.
So you're saying so prominent that I want to see. So what you're saying that they put it in their bedroom and then they tell him, oh, I want to see it every day when I wake up and before I go to bed.
But you never really look at it. You don't look at the wall behind.
But then you're kind of held hostage by this painting because you know it's there. You walk in and you see.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's a big
You,
painting.
you put it up for a year, and then you say, "My dumbass wife broke it by accident."
I was going
to
to say that was actually tip number 2, where you could just say, obviously everything is a variation of a lie. Where you could just say, oh, we had a party at the house. Colin, because that's a good British name, right? Colin got drunk and he bumped into the painting and it knocked it down, or we spilled wine on it, so we had to put it away.
Then it started on fire, and then it ended up flying out of the window.
And it ended up in a wood chipper somehow.
But that's why it's even better behind the bed. So Ted's tip is like, just get to it, man, and knock the thing off, and it accidentally broke, and.
I mean, obviously, there's endless variations how to get rid of this painting without. So the main thing is, it sounds like you don't want to hurt the guy's feelings because he's obviously very proud.
So you're going to come up. You're going to come
He's
up with
very
a
proud.
scenario where somehow this thing disappears, and he's not going to feel bad about that.
Or you could do that. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you want to go scorched earth, you could just stage like a pretend, like your place got robbed. And they took the painting, among other things, and unfortunately, the painting was not insured. You don't have to paint us another one, by the way. It's okay because it's in our heart.
Yeah,
it's right here.
Just what we would take instead? The wallet size version. We just went, just.
Could you just give us, like the Mona
So wait,
Lisa? They have
so
like
hold on a second.
they have like small versions of it. They got like a little table size version of it.
So you're advocating that they say there was a break-in.
Well, that's Plan C. There's like 3 variations.
Well, Ted wants the rich people from the earlier story, and like, can you steal the painting? But while you're at it, leave all your drugs behind for me, okay?
Yeah.
Teddy, I just feel like you're.
The main thing is you don't want to hurt the guy's feelings. So that's what it seems like they're angling at. Like we don't have the heart to tell him that we don't want this thing in our house.
Right.
So Plan A, like I said, just say, hey, you know what, this painting is so awesome. I think you should put it in a gallery. We want a replica of the painting, but if you could just make it like a little small, not a wallet size, but like a desk size, like 8x10 glossy or something.
I don't think artists do that. I mean, is there a little dicked Michelangelo somewhere? Can I just
like Mona Lisa? There's a little painting. I mean, so he's not going to paint it, of course, but I'm saying you take a picture of it, and then you could just go to go to a print shop and frame it. And when he comes over, it's like, oh, hey, there's your painting. Thank you so much.
I feel like you just copped out, man.
Yeah, you copped
how
out.
are you gonna?
You'd be like the worst friend ever.
Yeah. How are they gonna? Where's it gonna go? Just gonna give it to somebody? And put
No,
it
he's
in a
going to
gallery?
give it to him and just say, hey, I think you should put this as part of your show.
So you're gonna give back a present?
Well, you would parse it, just saying, hey, this painting, I think this should be hung in a gallery because I think you could make more money in the gallery because I'm looking out for you, buddy. Whatever his name is.
That is the. I think that's the. Honestly, I think if Dr. Samuel West were here right now, I think he would just tear your piece, tear that answer to shit.
I like Stan's tip, but I like the third tip where like our house got robbed and they took the painting.
They took your painting. They left all these drugs as payment.
Yeah. Wait. They took the painting. They left the TV. They left my wallet. That was great. They didn't break anything. They just gently took the painting and then left. Yeah. You see that this is the worst idea
It's
ever.
a tough tip. I mean, it's like, you could you just tell the guy, just say, hey, you know what, I want this painting in my house. You take it away. So, but we don't want to do that though, right? Because that's too obvious.
That's way too obvious. Are you kidding me?
So that's why it's not the tip.
Teddy, I think that's, you know what? I think you're really stretching. I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I just couldn't. You have anything better in mind? I mean, like if that happened to you, what would you do?
Ted, it's not my tips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did you hear about this on a side note? So I guess some kid got in trouble. He went to the Louvre, wherever the Mona Lisa's, so I guess he hung his own painting next to the Mona Lisa. He got his own painting.
See, no, that's a better tip.
That's actually pretty funny.
So you take this guy's painting, right?
Yeah.
You take it, you hang it up next to the Mona Lisa. That thing's a piece of shit, and this thing is way better. Mona Lisa, ugly bitch. Don't like her.
How do you get your art recognized? Well, we'll go to the Louvre this weekend. I'll bring my hammer and some nails.
I'm just gonna hang
Nail it up right-
I'm gonna hang my own painting by force.
Oh my
I'm
god,
just gonna force it upon the general population.
dude, that
It's a
would.
stick figure.
The busload of Chinese tourists are going, what in the heck is this crap on the wall?
You know what? I wish. You know what I wish? I wish they would have sent a picture of the picture.
To see what
Yeah,
it's
to
like,
see what it was. Okay, so for anybody, if you have something like that and you can send a picture for any of the people who want a tip, send any pictures you can, please. Okay, so we can see what it is you're talking about. Just see how awful it is, because art, you're right. Art is really subjective.
Yeah.
So it could be something where it seems like something that's really bad. Like I don't know. That stuff where they like throw paint on the canvas. That seems really stupid.
They had a monkey making paintings, and these paintings were selling for tens of thousands of dollars. They had like a chicken running with the paint and just making chicken scratches. Yeah, there's all sorts of art out there that people value. That
Are you kidding me?
no, I'm not. I'm serious. That's why art's subjective.
So wait a minute. So if I fed my dogs like some kind of like colored stuff to make their pee colored, and then I had them pee on some stuff, I could sell that?
Does anybody put art in their house anymore? I don't have any art in my house.
No, I don't.
like artwork, like Monet or Picasso. No, I don't.
Just anything.
Well, anything you would count as art.
No, I don't do art.
Nah, I don't do art either.
Yeah, I've nothing. I mean, everyone. I think when we first moved in together, and we had a place, we bought some art, so we were cool. So our friends would think we had class, but now our friends know we have no class. So.
I actually have two paintings, but they're in my basement. They were in my mother's house for years and years, and then when she finally moved out of the house, I actually took the paintings. And one's like a boat with like a little like an old barn or something, and it's like somewhere in the sea. It looks like it's off the coast of like Maine
cool.
or something. Yeah, and then one's like a bowl of fruit, of course, because everything has to be a bowl of fruit.
Bowl of fruit.
Gotta have the bowl of fruit.
Oh my god, the bowl of fruit is the worst. I told you guys my art story from college, right?
Uh-huh.
So I go back to I go back to be a teacher. So I already got my degree. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm like 25, 28 years old. I go back and I got to take a goddamn art class. Okay. I couldn't take a gym class. I couldn't do any of that stuff. So I got to take an art class, and it's really big. It's kind of a big room, and they put something in the middle. And they draw, right? And the guy comes over, and this is the best, man. The guy comes over, and he looks at me. He goes, Matt. I go, yeah, Matt. He goes, if you're not going to try, I'm not going to give you a passing grade. This is not a thing where you just come here and you just scribble on a piece of paper and expect to pass this class. And now I'm like 28 years old, man. And I look at him, and he must have seen the look at my face. Right?
Isn't it funny being talked to like a kid when you're 28? That's the funniest thing.
But you know what the worst part was? I was.
You tried.
I'm like, yeah. I go, I'm trying. This is.
Oh, he wanted you to draw something?
Yeah, and I was like, this is the best I got.
I'm a grown man, and I probably can't draw better than most kindergartners.
No, neither
it's
can I.
Awful.
Yeah. So and he saw it. He saw it in my face, because I wasn't even like offended. Like I wasn't angry. I was just like, holy shit. I didn't know what anybody else was doing, right? And I was like, holy crap. And he goes, I'm sorry. And I'm like, holy fuck. And I'm like, he thinks I'm like really special. He goes, I'll tell you what. And he whispers this to me. He goes, I'll grade you on how much better you get.
So you
I'm just like,
Niederhoffed it.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So you start off bad on purpose.
Yeah.
And then you trend up, and the teachers like that. They like because they feel like they're accomplishing something. So you sabotage some early stuff on purpose, and then you get better. You don't have to like get an A or anything, but you can go from like a D. Don't flunk the class, but go like D to like C minus, and yeah, they get a hard on over that. So
Yeah, dude. No, I never drew. I mean, I drew like stick figures and Batman, like flying through the air when I was not paying attention in school. But yeah, that was. You know what's funny? I still remember how like that made me feel. I'm just like, fuck, I didn't realize I was that bad.
Oh, you know what you should do for Christmas this year for Ted? You should draw him a picture and then kind of pressure him to put it in his house.
I'll draw a picture of you.
Yeah, Ted, I want you to hang this up. I want you to hang this up in your office, and I want all your clients to see this and be like, "Hey, did your child draw this for you?" No, that's my adult, 56-year-old adult friend. Oh, that's nice that you're friends with people like that.
So actually, there was a phase when I was a kid, like I liked cartoons, and I wanted to draw cartoons, and I'm like, I saw some really cool, like like Garfield or something. I'm like, I want to draw. It looked like it was simple, so I started trying to draw. First, I trace it, and then I tried to draw it, and I just realized I had no artistic ability.
Yeah, I have none. I wouldn't even try
whatsoever. Like, and I think my mom actually took me to the art institute, or she took me to like a park district for like an art class. And it was the same thing. It's like they asked me to leave because my level of disinterest.
That's because you took your pants off, and you're like, I'm the male model, and they're like, nobody can paint that. We can't paint what we can't see. Yeah, you know what's really weird though? My mother-in-law is an awesome artist. Like, absolutely awesome. Yeah. We actually have stuff that she has drawn, like pencil drawings and stuff. We have stuff hanging up in our house that if I showed you when you guys leave, you'd think it was a professional artist. Sure. She's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she got it all, and I did not.
Yeah, I got
skip that gene, yeah. So,
but I still think it's a good idea for Christmas.
Drawing Ted
like
a picture.
Ted, I really worked hard on this drawing, and it'd mean a lot to me if you put it somewhere prominent.
It looked
in your
like
house.
a Rorschach block.
And then all of a sudden, Ted's tip all of a sudden got a whole lot more.
I started watching on YouTube. I was fascinated. I started watching about psychiatric hospitals, about people with like schizophrenia and stuff like that. And they, they're like normal. They're not like in straitjackets. They're normal people, and they're like they're kind of lucid for the most part, but. Obviously, they're there because they had some type of episode in the real world. So, and they let them go out to like go shopping. And they can take the bus and even drive sometimes, but they got to be medicated if they're off that medication regimen.
Why would you want someone medicated driving a car?
Well, I mean, not like medicated to the point you're going to pass, but medicated to the point where you don't hear the voices.
I mean, the voices that say run everyone over and drive into the... Is that what old people hear when they drive into the bank?
I'm an angel. I can fly. Oh, did I tell you a funny story? So here's a funny story, Stan.
This is not going to be funny.
My mom saw a guy jump off the 45th floor of the John Hancock building back in the 80s. It was hilarious. I guess the guy was high in LSD, so she's walking on Michigan Avenue. And to add insult to injury, so... For folks who don't know, the Hancock Center is the second tallest building in Chicago behind the former Sears Tower. It's called Willis Tower now.
Tower, yeah.
So this guy's on LSD. I don't know what happened. He breaks out a window of like the 45th floor. He jumps and someone says, "There he goes!"
Wow.
And then he doesn't even land on the street. He lands in the area below, like below the street level, like in like where that restaurants are. And they showed the news like Channel 7.
Your mom saw this?
Yeah, I think she was just like walking past. She just saw the
It's kind of like reminds me of what was that, Ozark?
And the sound it made.
You watch Ozark? That first episode of Ozark when a guy flies out of the window and splatters all over the.
Yeah. So you know what they showed on TV? They didn't show the dead body, but they showed the large concrete slab was actually bent like this. It was like up like that, and I'm surprised they showed that. But this is back in the '80s and stuff before
Wait,
everyone got
did right after that? Is that when your mom took you to see I Spit on Your Grave? Is that like right? I mean,
I already seen that years ago. So yeah, I was ready for that.
So that was okay. So we talk about painting. This is the weirdest thing. So I got this new streaming service, right? And there's a channel on there. Remember that dude with the white dude with the afro who was painting?
Bob Ross.
Ross, yeah.
So there's a whole channel. This is 24 hours a day.
There's shirts with him on it. He's
every
an icon.
single day.
Yeah.
And on top of that, for some insane reason, I happen to see this. Somebody's making a movie of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's Owen Wilson. Oh, that's it. Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson is that guy, and they're going to make a movie of this guy painting. I have no idea what it is. I just
good.
Well, I think he was
what?
the first. He was,
all he did was paint.
But he was the first guy on TV. I think he was on Channel 11 or something like back in the because he was back
I
in the
remember
day.
watching
And
that
he would you would actually it was on public TV and you could watch this guy and he would actually tutor people how to paint, which was like rare because he was the only guy doing it.
How is that a movie?
Well, but like Julia Child, with the cooking, she they made a good movie out of her. Who was that? Meryl Streep, right?
No, Meryl Streep is, or
she's
what's her
good in
name?
everything.
Yeah, what's that other woman? Helen Mirren, she's very regal. She always plays the queen in some movie. She's some woman in her 70s, but she looks like she's 50. She looks real good.
I don't watch those movies either, but I don't understand how a movie about a guy who paints is going to be something that people watch.
They're gonna Irish it up, obviously.
There's got to be other stuff in it.
Wait, what? They're going to Irish it up?
Yeah, well, if it can't be just about that, so there's got to be some intrigue.
Is that a phrase? We're going to Irish it up?
Well, I just kind of extrapolated it from spiking a drink with some for some
I was
Baileys.
wondering where he was going with that.
Yeah, well, I got to make it a little bit interesting, so they're not going to literally have them painting. So I'm sure there's going to be a subplot where
You mean
there's
the backstory?
a love interest, or I almost didn't get into this art school until I realized how super talented I was, and then it was a misunderstanding. And then he got in, and he I won the valedictorian. It's going to be one of those type of movies.
Or his rival, like in Kingpin.
rival, yeah.
He's the rival
He can almost
artist.
paint just
Gotta
as
hate
good.
that guy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that
like
oh my God.
like Zoolander, like you get the walk off.
Is this how this movie even? You know what? This is what I feel. I feel like there's 3 drunk guys in a room, and they came up with this, and we're like, what's the story? He just came. No. Helen Mirren. Let's get the Queen in there. He's American. Doesn't matter. We'll get the Queen in there. Let's Irish this up a little bit.
Well, Robert De Niro, who's in that movie The Irishman, and he's not even Irish. That's the funny thing. So, like, he was like the Forrest Gump of gangsters. Like, every big hit that the mob has ever committed in the history, like, he was there in some. Either he did it or he was out helping dispose of the body.
What?
And then including guys full of shit. So, he was up on the Hoffa hit.
I never saw that. It
Yeah,
was like
it's like
4
a 3
hours
hour.
long.
It's like a 3. It's
Yeah,
like
it
Mark
was
Straight,
really
it's like
long.
4 hours long. Joe Pesci's in it. How do you make Joe Pesci? He's like 80. They make him look like he's 40. I mean,
How do they
That
make
guy's
a
a great gangster, though.
He's a great gangster.
He's
Yeah,
a
but how do
great
you make
gangster.
a guy who's 5 feet tall tough?
He's good, man. He's
I know he is, but
at Goodfellas, man, and Casino, both of those, he was awesome as a gangster.
Yeah.
but I don't understand how a guy that small. I mean, you're a foot tall. You're a foot shorter than everybody else on the screen. How do you get tough?
So you got to be twice as mean.
Yeah, and like in Goodfellas, he had a couple screws loose, man. He was not right.
Yeah, he was pretty nuts. He was pretty nuts. All right, so let me ask you this: are you guys picture takers? You guys like take selfies?
No.
You take pictures?
A few, here and there.
If you ran into somebody famous, would the first thing you would think of would be like to take a selfie with them?
No, like I told you, I'm really not really into famous people. Like, I mean, you know what I do? If I saw famous people, like, oh, there's blah blah blah, then I'd be like, hey, what's for lunch, Dan?
maybe. Yeah.
Wait a minute. If you ran into Meryl Streep, you would ask her what's for lunch.
No, I would talk to Stan. Like, if I was walking with Stan and I saw Meryl Streep, assuming I even recognized her, I'd be like, oh, there's blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, oh, Stan, where do you want to go eat after this? I mean, I wouldn't run up to Meryl Streep and say, hey, Meryl Streep, Miss Streep.
So you
I
wouldn't.
might call her Miss Street. Miss Street? May I
Myrtle
take a
Streep. Look, hey,
The
everybody, it's-
dingo took my baby.
everybody, it's Myrtle Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my favorite actress. She was in those things that I saw.
She was in the Bridges of Madison County where she got ravished really good by Clint Eastwood.
Wait, did she?
Yeah,
she
she was in the
did.
Bridges of Madison County.
I don't
whatever.
I don't
So,
remember that. It's a long time ago. Okay, so here's a problem that somebody big time had. You guys know 50 Cent, the actor,
Yeah.
the rapper.
Yeah.
Love his stuff.
50 Cent.
Yeah. He took a picture with a woman who was a fan, right? And I took a selfie with her, and it turns out that she runs a company that specializes in fixing small penises. Okay.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But so.
She took the picture, and then, unbeknownst to Fiddy, that's what we call him, Mr. Cent. I don't know. She used the picture and said that he was a client and that he had a small penis, and now he doesn't have a small penis anymore.
I heard about that. I didn't see what the backstory was, so that's what it was about. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
According to him, and these aren't his exact words, but they're paraphrased. He has a wonderfully large and really attractive penis. His words, and so he's suing her for that.
Well, number one, she's using his likeness without his permission. Number one.
I don't think I don't think he cares about that, Ted. I do not think he cares about his face being on the advertisement. I believe he has a problem with the other thing that all guys would have. She said he had a small dick, and she made it bigger. So here's the thing. I mean, it's kind of weird because once it's out there, right? Just like that guy who 2 years later. I mean, once it's out there that he
So now he's going to spend the rest of his life having to do like dick pics or something to people or proving himself, because it's like saying someone's a child molester. I could be lying, but like someone's going to believe it, right? Because it's just so incendiary where someone's going to
So do you show somebody a picture of you having sex with an adult woman to undo that? Look at that. She's fully grown.
But what about the picture you took before that one?
Yeah, it seems kind of scary that
Yeah.
somebody would even do that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be smart enough. I mean, it's kind of a biggish company. I'm not going to say, I don't want to get involved in this, but
You say biggish company. How do you know? How do you
No
know?
pun
How do you know
intended.
it's not just an average size company, which is just fine for most people?
Ted, from what I understand, it started out as a small company,
Yeah,
and then it got
and
bigger.
it grew
and
larger.
then it got bigger. Yeah,
Bigger.
yeah.
And
It
bigger.
expanded.
But isn't that, isn't that isn't that crazy that she's got to know that doing that is not going to be good. And then I thought of this one thing. What if he agreed to all this? What if he like, hey man, she was going to offer him a large amount of money, and then he decided that after he saw it that he didn't like it.
Well, I'm assuming there'd be a contract somewhere. So let's just say he agreed and backed out. But it sounds like what happened was he just took a random selfie with a fan, and then unbeknownst to him, she just took his likeness and not only put it as like it's the spokesperson for this penis enlargement service, but he's actually a client. That's good stuff.
I'm not just
Not just any client.
I'm not just the owner. I'm a client. Yeah.
Can I have the 50-cent special? And if I pay double, can I get the
Now it's
dollar?
worth $1. It's worth $1.75.
We're going to call him $2 Chuck right there. I like that. That is awesome. All right, so I want to stay on art for one more second because you guys had to hear this story where a sixth grade class in Florida a teacher showed a picture of the Michelangelo statue. Was that David?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've seen that story too. Yeah, David.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
naked in the
Yeah, he's
the
got
private parts.
his
or,
wiener.
yeah.
His wiener.
It's
So-
like Greek. Yeah, it's like Greek Roman art, which is common.
I think he had kind of a 50-cent kind of wiener, too.
you know what? I think it was a 50 cent after the surgery wiener, if I remember
I
right.
don't know.
It
I
seemed
think
like
it was 50 cents after he got out of a cold pool.
allegedly. But yeah, so the parents freaked out and they said that they were showing pornography, that the teacher was showing pornography, right? And everybody made this gigantic issue out of it. And all I kept thinking is, these parents who made this giant issue, you know what your kids are looking at on their phone, right? You know that this is an 800-year-old statue, and you know what your kids can get on their phone.
It's a classic. It's a classic statue. In fact, I was in an Italian restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and you go into the bathroom, and they show actually statues, just like paintings in the men's room of statues, just like that.
Guys' dicks?
Guys' dicks, because the gag is like you're in the bathroom taking a piss, so they got like little kids pissing, infants pissing. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, but
Ted?
but from like the 1940s, like from Italy, they're like peeing in the streets, and then they got pictures of Greek gods or Roman gods. With,
You went to a restaurant where in the bathroom they have pictures of children
multiple pictures. I mean, they don't show like their private parts, but they like show them facing the wall. But you see
Peeing
their
in the
but
streets.
peeing in the street, and this is like from the 1940s. It's not anything recent.
Right.
The whole gist. I'm assuming the gag is you're peeing, they're peeing. So by watching them pee, maybe it helps you pee. I don't know.
Does that seem?
I don't know. Who knows?
Does that not seem weird?
It was just part of the motif for the restaurant because it had that old fashioned motif. With a lot of the old fashioned stuff from Italy because they were. Take a trip down memory lane.
And nowhere in Italy did they take any pictures of adults peeing.
Well, yeah, they had some pictures, but it was like more like the statues of like just like implying that these statues are taking a piss because they're obviously exposed just like that David statue. So the point is, it wasn't a big deal. It's just a bathroom of an Italian restaurant. But but I'm sure if those parents from Florida were in the bathroom, they'd be calling their senator.
Well,
right
here's
now.
the thing. Here's the thing. The parents had said that their kids had never seen anything like that.
Well, that's good. That means they got some exposure to some new culture.
I think they're talking about the wiener part,
Oh,
Ted.
yeah.
Yeah, I think those.
So they
parents,
never seen themselves naked. The kids never seen
I think
themselves.
those parents believe that their kids don't have access on their phone to, I'm going to say, 12 billion pictures
Yeah.
of naked
Yeah,
people.
well, that's the least of their worries because I actually just read this story, and this isn't funny, where I guess like some 11-year-old girl, and I don't know what state it was, like she disappeared, like she crawled out her bedroom window and apparently met a guy who she's been chatting with online. It's probably some grown man in his 30s.
They do that shit all. Yeah.
Unbeknownst to the parents, and then whatever this guy said, he obviously enticed her enough, and she disappeared with this guy. So that seems to be way worse than seeing a statue of David. Just FYI, if you want to put things in context, so those parents need to just take it down a couple of notches.
Listen, I get it. I get it completely. But and that's a funny thing. Like I guess I would never even. I guess I just wouldn't give a shit.
Well,
Right?
it's
I mean,
so interesting.
it's sixth
yeah.
grade. Here's what I hear.
Yeah, sixth grade. How old is a sixth
Hold on.
grader?
I've been in sixth grade. All the boys are going to laugh,
Yeah.
right? All the boys are going to laugh. All the girls are going to laugh later when 9 of them go to the bathroom together because that's what girls do, right?
Yeah.
And then it's over because everybody, boys have penises and ultimately everyone will see it.
So they're 12-year-olds, right? 6th grade is like 12.
12,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but then how's it different than like you see some of these old African tribes and stuff, and they're running around half naked? You know, it's just
Listen, it's
Amazon,
no different.
It is what it is,
Amazon
you know?
tribes,
So-
yeah.
It's no different. And then when we scare everybody, like a penis is so scary. Like all of a sudden, it's like all right, all you kids saw a penis, so I know all of you boys are now homosexuals, and all of the girls are sluts. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna burn the 6th grade down, and we're just gonna 5th grade. We're not gonna do this to you. So you guys are all in the bad zone. Yeah, you're all fails. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about taking math tests anymore. We know that you guys are just going to be sex
So
crazy.
here's the funny thing. So what those parents are actually doing is reverse. They're actually like when you kind of make something taboo or like, don't look at this. That's when the kids want to look at it more. So they're actually having the opposite effect, or they're creating kids that are so anxious that when they do eventually become adults, they're going to be so hung up about sex and relationships that it kind of ruins them for the rest of their life. So in a way, those parents are doing those kids a disservice, in my opinion. Yeah.
That's
but what do I know?
No. That's one of the things I think about. I think like in America, that's one of the things that we don't do very well. Is we kind of demonize sex and we kind of demonize the human body.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other countries are just like, hey man, it's a person. Hey guys, that's a dick. You have one. It's not scary. Okay. And girls, listen to me. It's just a dick. Here's the thing: protect yourself from it.
Yeah.
Know it and protect yourself from it. Yeah.
Abstinence.
That does
Condoms.
not. Abstinence makes the heart grow fonder. Is that what it is? Is that the phrase? No, but that's the thing, right? I mean, if you make it such a crazy thing, you're going to make people do things that they wouldn't normally do.
I'm just saying when you make something taboo, and people want to find out about it, it just drives them to do it in a more stealth way, and the chances are that what they're going to learn is going to be more sinister than if you just would have given them just basic information. So in a way, you're like I said, you're doing those kids a disservice. By overreacting like that. So.
Oh yeah, no. That's one of the things I absolutely agree with. I think we just got to be more relaxed with everything. If you teach people like the parents who do, if we teach them about sex education, they're going to go out and have sex. No, they're not. If you give a kid, or that thing I told you when we were in high school, I don't know what happened when you were in Maryland, Stan, but in Illinois, they wanted to give high school kids condoms when I was in high school. And parents lost their shit in the places where the birth rate was the highest among high school kids. Right? They said no. If you give them condoms, they'll make them have sex. I'm like, they're already having sex. The pregnancy rate is unbelievable in these neighborhoods. Give them some condoms and have them stop. And the parents were so crazy that they had to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? I mean, I don't get the concept of it. All right. But you know what? We should stop talking about sex for a while. Talk about something that makes everyone think about not sex. Donald Trump.
So I do want to comment on that real quick. Just can I make a
Donald
comment?
Trump?
Yeah, I'll make a quick comment. So obviously,
make it long. I have to go get a beer. So
Okay.
Make it as long as I can so that when I come back, I'm not angry. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. So what happened was, as you know, he just got charged with, I guess, paying hush money to Stormy Daniels. So long story short, back in this is 8 years ago. 16. This is 05. This is 2005. So at the age of 60, he had consensual sex with Stormy Daniels, who was 27 at the time, who's a professional porn star. Consensual sex. So again, apparently paying her hush money is not the crime. The crime he's being charged with is using allegedly campaign funds instead of his own personal funds to pay her the hush money. But this has been already adjudicated to a point where. So here's the two things. Is this a felony or is this a misdemeanor? Because they're charging him with a felony. That's why he's going to be perp walk. But he said this is actually the best. Actually, this is the best thing that could ever happen to him because he's going to be, if his mugshot gets released, he's going to be on every T-shirt. He's going to be on every dorm room poster as like a martyr. So it's like I said, like I think Chris Rock had a joke. It's like arresting Tupac. He had a #1 selling. So you arrest Tupac. Now he's got the #1 selling hit because he's in prison.
Yeah, but are we going to have that same attitude when he gets arrested? I mean, he got caught basically lying in Georgia about.
But they're not talking about
trying to push. But I'm saying
Yeah,
that this
yeah.
is probably the first of a few.
Yeah.
So
and John Edwards, by the way, who was a presidential candidate back, so he actually had he impregnated his mistress. Okay, didn't want anyone to find out about it, and paid her $1 million, apparently allegedly from his campaign funds back in that few election cycles ago.
Was he a total asshole?
He went on trial. He got acquitted because basically his argument was like, I'm not paying this money to hide it from the voters. I'm paying it to hide it from my wife. Just like that was his defense. I don't want my wife to find out, which obviously she did. But the point is,
I didn't murder that woman so that she'd be dead. I murdered her so she wouldn't talk to my wife. Do you see the difference? Yeah, it's not a thing. Okay, but honestly, I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
Anything that comes of this is just going to be a circus.
Theater.
It's going to be so ridiculous.
Well, tomorrow's going to be a circus because I think he's actually being he actually flew into New York today, and I think he's going to be charged officially tomorrow. So they're not going to fingerprint him. They're going to give him the mugshot. I don't think they'll put him in handcuffs or anything. But
you know what my favorite thing in
I'd
the world is?
I'd ask for handcuffs, by the way. If I was Donald Trump, I'm like, no, handcuff me and walk me right down in the middle of the police station. That's going to be the best photo
Well, I
op
think
ever.
that's what they want,
Because that's
but
going
I
to be
don't
his
think they're gonna
that would
do it.
be his campaign poster. I mean, I would make
But
that
how
a campaign poster.
You know what? That's the thing I don't understand. You arrest somebody. Like, think about all the people that are arrested. They're put in handcuffs. They're arrested. They're brought in. And rich people get to do what? Rich people get to turn themselves in. What? Stan? You've been arrested for murdering 75 people. We know that you invented the internet. When would you like to come in and turn yourself in? We'll work with your schedule. Yeah, we'll absolutely work with your schedule, sir. Yeah, I hate that part. I hate the part that he gets to do whatever he wants. But here's the thing. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I care about. His son, Eric.
Oh,
Okay.
the slow one.
Yeah, the slow one. Now,
The physically slow
Yeah,
one.
this slow mo's other brother.
yeah. So this is what I've always thought of. To me, Eric Trump looks like a child molester who, ready? Other child molesters look up to. That's every time I see him, that's what it is. So I guess he went crazy ranting about his dad, but this is where he went with this, okay? So he's ranting about his dad being arrested, and this is what he said. He said, and you know what the real problem is? I go to the CVS store by my house, and the aspirin is locked in a case. I can't even buy aspirin. That's where this country has gone. That's where he went. He went from his dad being arrested.
I thought it was the Benadryl that's locked in the case.
No,
Claritin D.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I don't know where he's. I actually went to 2 CVSs just to make sure. Yeah, you can just walk in and buy aspirin in any drugstore ever. But that's where this crazy piece of shit went. That he compared his father being arrested to being able to buy aspirin.
I don't
at
get
CVS.
that. I don't get that one.
I
Actually, the best analogy would just be like, hey, crime is running rampant in New York. They could argue that it's gone down, but the bottom line is you still got people with multiple felonies running loose on the street. And out of all the cases, this prosecutor can potentially bring cases against or prosecute. This is the one he chose. Obviously, it's political. It's politically motivated.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So if it wasn't Donald Trump, this would have been gone. Because this isn't the first time anyone's hearing about it. This has been around since 2005.
Dude, listen.
Yeah.
No matter what comes of this, it's going to cost us, the taxpayers, probably millions of dollars.
Or, I'm sorry, 2015. Excuse me. Yeah.
Millions of dollars to do what? What is going to happen? Do you think there's a world that exists, any other alternate Earth, where Donald Trump is going to go to jail for this?
Well, here's the thing. Here's why they're doing it. The reason they're doing it is simple. They're not going to admit this, of course. They're doing it, basically their argument is like no one is quote unquote is above the law. But as I've already said on multiple prior occasions, trust me, there are a lot of people above the law.
Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal's above the law.
I like that movie. Yeah, the reason they're doing this, if they can somehow convict him of a felony, then he's disqualified from running for office, which is what the Democrats' wet dream would be. Because the Democrats, you can say whatever they want, but they fear Donald Trump. They fear him because he's going to blow up the whole system again.
I don't think he is.
If he gets reelected, but I'm saying they fear him. That's
No.
why they're doing this. They won't ever admit that, but that's the undertone.
No, but it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
They're also, the Republicans using the argument that you shouldn't go after people that are running for office. Well, what's stopping a criminal from running for office to try to get shielded? It's a catch-22.
But but like I said, the premise is that if he gets convicted of a felony, or I don't know if it's charged with a felony, I don't know what the federal law is, but the point is if they can somehow disqualify him from running for president, that obviously opens up the field for the other candidates. So that's the way to get rid of him. So
there
they're
is
gonna
no
run
other
him for
candidate. There's one. Listen,
DeSantis.
DeSantis. The only other person is Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
No, I think they're done with Trump. I don't think Trump is a thing anymore. I really don't. I think he's gone so off the rail.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, but I mean as of right this minute, I think like they say his poll numbers actually have surged way past DeSantis since the indictment came down. So like I said, in a way, this is the best thing. Yeah, this is the best thing that could happen because I mean, like I said, if I'm Trump, if I'm his campaign manager, here's what I say: no, don't take me in through the back door. Take me through the front door in handcuffs, so everyone could see that. Because I guarantee you, that's going to be front page news
because
everywhere.
Republicans want a criminal as president?
Because everybody knows, like I said, nobody is taking the burglar bars down from their house if Donald Trump gets convicted. I mean, it's not going to make anybody safer. It's akin to when one party investigates another party. We're investigating, Hunter Biden's laptop. Okay, let's just say you investigate Hunter Biden's laptop, and everything on the laptop is true.
I love Hunter Biden's laptop.
He stole millions of dollars from China and Burisma and whatever. Yeah, he probably did it because his name's Biden. That's why he got the job. Okay, let's say you put Hunter Biden in jail. How does that help us?
No,
Nobody
it doesn't.
cares. Yeah.
Hey, can we stop talking about Hunter Biden's laptop? I'd like them to seize Ted's laptop.
Ooh.
Could you imagine what is on there?
I don't have a laptop. But
Yeah,
if I
Ted
did,
does not have. Yeah, Ted,
I sure wouldn't be taken to a repair shop in Vermont. That's for damn sure.
yeah. I would.
the best part.
I would be 100% honest. If I'm going to put anything on anything, I think I would just put all my incriminating evidence on my phone because at least it's around me all the time. And if it goes bad, I'm just going to break it into 1,000 pieces. I'm going to throw it into the ocean.
burn the
and I'm
SIM
gonna
card.
stay safe. Yeah, I'm going to stay 100%
So
safe.
my question with the Hunter Biden laptop, the guy's worth obviously millions of dollars. I think he even gets Secret Service protection. Why would you take it to like an average repair shop? Why not just give it to
Ted,
like,
because
a trusted-
it makes the story so much fun. It makes the story so much more fun. Yeah, yeah.
It's like Elon Musk taking his Bentley to Jiffy Lube or something. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know? So-
That would be awesome. Mr. Musk, this is a Rolls Royce. This is actually hand built. We don't even know where the oil is. Just change it. Just change it. We got it. Yeah. That doesn't make. I mean, yeah.
I had an old Mercedes wagon, and
yeah. Remember the bouncy car?
I couldn't even find. There was no dipstick to the car. I couldn't check the oil. It was just like I'd have to rely on a sensor that probably didn't work. So I had no idea how to change the oil or anything. And this is a 1999 car, so you can only imagine what the.
So you're saying there was no dipstick?
There was a transmission fluid dipstick. There was no oil dipstick at all, and it was really weird how to change. You had to like suck it out from the front, or, or something. I don't know. That didn't come out right. That didn't come
The
out right.
German engineering. We don't need a dipstick. We don't burn any oil.
Teddy, I cannot imagine. Stan, do you imagine there's a car built without a dipstick to tell where the oil is?
Yes, it's called a 1999 Mercedes E350 wagon.
Yeah, and he had the battery under the back seat, so maybe it's partially true. That never made any sense to me either.
I will neither confirm nor deny that, but I feel like it's not true. Okay, Teddy. Now I don't know if you listen to this show, but Teddy, you remember a while back when we said who we wanted to have on the show, right?
Me?
And we said. Well, besides you, we said we wanted to have like Trump or Madison Cawthorn or like Margie Green Jelly Bean on, right?
Yeah.
And we said we wanted to kind of confront him, right?
I didn't say that.
No, we did, Ted. This is one of the ones you were really drunk. But we said we wanted to have.
I want him on the show, sure.
Yeah, we wanted to have him on, to kind of like dispel what they were saying.
Or just see what they have to say. I mean, because here's the bottom line. No matter, because obviously MTG, J, whatever, her G, she was on 60 Minutes, and I guess everyone's freaking out over that because I guess they're saying that, you gave this conspiracy theorist, you gave her oxygen by putting her on a mainstream show, so like now she gets to spout her crazy conspiracies.
Right.
And you legitimize what she's saying by putting her on like a major talk show,
Well, no, the thing that I said, listen, even if we had those people on and we tried to browbeat him down and get him to admit stuff, you couldn't outkick the crazy.
No.
And that's exactly what happened last night.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course, yeah.
I get it. Listen, they Leslie Stahl, she's doing her 60 Minutes thing, and she's just like, "Oh, you said this," and then here's the problem: Marjorie Taylor Greene just went like into full crazy mode.
Yeah,
and there was no way to come back from that. You're just like, what? I said, you literally said that there were Jewish space lasers, and she's like, you know what? You know what's wrong with America? You know what's wrong with America?
So she pivoted.
Yeah. We used to have tin cans. Now we have aluminum. Do you understand?
No,
you understand?
Actually, I saw what the origin of that comment was. I don't think she actually said Jewish space laser. She implied the Rothschilds, that's a very rich Jewish family, somehow was responsible for the forest fires in California. So I think someone gave her the tag Jewish space laser at that point.
But I mean, that's the thing. When she says whatever crazy shit she says, and she said tons of crazy shit, and they came right back at her. All she did was just out lunatic.
Yeah.
She out lunaticked all the things, and you can't, like I said, you can't win. You can't have.
Well, you know what they say.
Can't have those. You can't have like crazy zealoty people who will say anything. You can't beat them.
Well,
There's no way to beat them.
Well, like, there's an expression that says genius has limits, stupidity has no limits. So you can just do whatever you want. And like I said, history will always repeat itself. If, like I said, you could start a website tomorrow with the most outrageous thing you could think of that you could just make it up, like Scientology. You just make it up, and people will believe you. If you just say it long enough and fervent enough, and you're like, okay, Ron.
Are you saying our souls aren't sucked up by a machine and then sent back, and that's why everyone is so angry?
When L. Ron Hubbard wrote Dianetics back in the 50s or 60s, whatever it was, he was just doing it for money. and then that became Scientology, and people
No,
actually
he-
believe it.
He was actually doing it to. I believe he was doing it to bang little boys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean,
and young. Well,
you
young-
hate to say
let's
it.
just say young people.
Yeah.
Underage
Well,
people.
what do most cult leaders do? They're surrounded by a lot of young, either boys or girls, because they look up to them because they're like the reincarnation. They're the new Jesus Christ or whatever. So yeah, that's their whole shtick. Like David Koresh in Waco, and you saw how that one ended. So
You know what? I never paid attention.
Jim
did
Jones Guyana.
did that go well?
No, that went really bad.
Oh wait, Jim Jones was the.
He was a preacher from Indiana who took everybody to the Guyana with 900 people. That was they all drank the Kool-Aid. It was the largest mass suicide in history. It's like 900 people and a senator. I think a senator went to like investigate him, so they killed that person. And I think they made everybody drink the poison laced Kool-Aid. But I think like a few people survived. But yeah, where's Guyana? That's in South America, somewhere in South America.
something like that. Yeah. No, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You can't undo the crazy. Like at one point they asked, she said something about like the Democratic Party was the party of pedophiles.
Yes, that's
right.
right, yeah.
No, listen. If you said that,
It's a pretty incendiary
but
statement.
you've said that on Channel 2 or CBS, right? And somebody said that you would kind of like try to backtrack. Of course not. She
doubled down.
She just doubled down and she just went on. Yeah. That thing, I'm telling you, man, you can't beat crazy. I know what 60 Minutes was trying to do, right? They were trying to discredit her. You can't do it.
Yeah, and it was kind of poor kind of journalism, and they caught her lying, and how they could let her get away with that, and then calling all Democrats pedophiles. And,
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty. I mean, not only is that like a super insulting, but I mean it's such a broad statement. So every person who was a registered Democrat or a Democratic politician somehow supports pedophilia, and I think QAnon, whatever that's
QAnon,
called.
yeah.
I think that's supposedly a group of like rich Democrats or liberals that.
No, that's
are,
the rich Republicans.
no.
yeah.
I thought the who
No, QAnon are the bad people, Ted.
No, they're the bad people, but I thought they were supposed to be like a group of like liberal Democrats that are like basically into child porn trafficking. That's what QAnon is, right?
QAnon,
Is that what that is?
They're mostly Republicans.
Yeah.
They're all big, like
Oh,
hardcore
are you talking
Trumpers.
are you talking about the people who drink baby's blood, like Oprah and those people? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Just to stay young. Yeah,
No, that was a real thing. That was said. That was said that Oprah and all her rich friends buy babies and drink their blood to be healthier.
There was actually a countess back in the third. Don't ask me how I know this, Dan, but there was a countess back in the 13th century who actually was like drinking children's blood, and I think before they caught her, she drank like blood from like 200 kids. So you know what they did for her? They walled her up in her room and they just left her there.
Wow.
That was
Now, how do you
700
find
years
that
ago.
out?
What's that? That was yesterday.
Oh, you know what? You know why? Ted just reads his family history.
I think so.
the Ted family
I should
history.
have taken that DNA test, Dan.
Ted, your great. Well, great times 75 was a blood drinker, just like me. Yeah, that seems super scary. But here's what I was thinking. I know that Trump is interested in having Marjorie Taylor Greene as his running mate if he makes it out of this, right? But here's what I'm thinking. Go one step further. Trump leaves his wife, she leaves her husband, and the two of them go as husband and wife into the White House.
She was already divorcing her husband already. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's already
Wait,
divorced her husband.
She's already leaving him?
she's already So that one half of the equation's over.
Dude, this is okay. In the history of America, it has never happened. A husband and wife, president, vice president team. Listen, I said this that when Trump became president, that it would be like hit rock bottom. No, rock bottom is Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene married and president and vice president.
Wouldn't her as vice president almost be like when Sarah Palin was picked as John McCain's vice president? I mean, when she like opened her mouth, everyone was like, "Oh, this is lost. This is so lost."
I see
Out of
Russia
all the
from my
people.
backyard.
Dude, she's very attractive.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying when she talks, I mean, I know she has
Yeah,
some talking
she's
points.
not smart.
It's just like it's just very off-putting, and it's all about presentation,
Right, but she's really pretty.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene are in the White House. Yeah, where'd you say to go? Thailand? I might be in Thailand,
Would that be
running
awesome?
around naked.
That would be awesome if this place just emptied out. But you know what? Nobody follows through.
Yeah, remember they said that-
Didn't Cher promise that she would leave the planet?
No, someone said, actually a famous person said, I think it was one of the rock stars. I want to say it was almost like the guy from like Aerosmith. So like, if Trump gets elected president, I'm moving to Canada, and they never did. So I'm like, they're full of shit. They're not going anywhere. So, and who says that anyway? Like, okay, you're already a super rich person who's spoiled, and you do whatever you want. So who cares who's the president? How's it affecting you?
It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right, so let's get to some state stuff because I love doing this. This is really cool. In Minnesota, oh man, this is so disturbing. Minnesota, they're very excited because they stopped a law that might have let 18, 19, and 20-year-olds not buy guns. But thankfully, the Minnesota Supreme Court has decided that it's okay. Gun laws should not. You don't have to be 21 and older to buy a gun. This is a resounding victory for 18 to 20-year-olds, according to the chair of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. A great day that 18, 19, and 20-year-olds can now buy guns. Isn't it time? Do we not see this? 14 straight weeks. I looked this up. 14 straight weeks. A school shooting. Not just a random asshole shooting. 14 straight weeks we've had a school shooting.
Has it been that long? That many weeks? Wow.
14 fucking weeks in a row, someone has walked into a school and shot somebody.
Yeah.
And this guy's excited that an 18-year-old can buy a gun.
Well, it's good for their profit margins, I suppose. Well, here's a good rule of thumb: if the law is 21 to drink, shouldn't it just be 21 to buy a gun as well?
Illinois is thinking about where we live is thinking about dropping the drinking age to 18. That's what we need. More people legally able to drink, because that's what they said. They said it's not fair that at 18 you can go to war.
I've heard that before.
You can't drink.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, what are we doing right now? We're giving everybody guns and we're letting them get fucked up.
Well, in Florida just passed, I think it was today or last week, anybody can conceal and carry.
Without a permit.
Yeah, without a permit.
Yeah. Without a permit.
So just what we need, more people carrying guns around.
The stupidest state, it may be the stupidest collection of people possibly on the planet in Florida. And now anybody can have a gun anytime they want, anywhere.
Well, someone might need that parking space. That's life and death right there. Someone takes your parking space before you get to it. Dude. Just take out a firearm.
So he takes it. That's not a gun. This is a gun.
Stand my ground law. Dude, I wanted that spot.
But listen, here's the thing. This was the funniest thing. I think it was just last week in a Chipotle and a Burger King. Somebody walked into a Burger King, or I'm sorry, somebody drive through a Burger King. They got the wrong sauce on their burger. They go into the Burger King, pulls out a gun, and tries shooting for getting the wrong sauce on their burger. Tries shooting the employees in the Burger King.
Yeah, and actually happened in Chipotle too. I guess like two people were pissed they weren't getting extra cheese on their burrito. No, this really happened. And then and I guess they took out a gun, and so the person's got the gun, and the other person's like shoot him. So they try, but the gun jammed. So then of course they ran away. And now they're looking for them. But yeah, well, do you realize, stupid criminals, that if you do happen to kill somebody, you're never going to eat Chipotle or Burger King ever again. You're going to be eating a lot of cock in prison. That's your meat
like
sandwich
Burger
right
King
there.
so much better.
Yeah. Dude, I listen, but it's crazy.
That's my PSA to dumb criminals, by the way. So
I feel like everybody does everything that happens now. Somebody just pulls out a gun. Do we really need more people having guns? No, of course we don't. Of course we don't. All right, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when you got dumb people with poor problem solving skills, the last thing you want to do is make sure they're under the influence and have a handgun with them. That's a good combination. So bravo. By the way, the people who are advocating for this live in gated communities with full-time security. So it's they're talking about you.
Yeah, no, that's right. But it's all over the place. All right, so I want to end this on something funny. I want to end this on something really good. You guys have probably heard about every kind of sport cheating, right? I mean, think about what's something that somebody does when they cheat at sports.
Like when they put the Vaseline when they throw the ball. Or
baseball
the
players,
yeah.
Baseball.
Or Ted cheats at golf all the time.
The
I saw him hit one into the woods, and he claimed he did, and he found his ball, found it my ass.
I actually found your ball and hit it instead and claimed it was mine, and I gave you the penalty stroke. Like you lost your ball.
Yeah. the Patrick Reed, my ball was embedded, or all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's steroids, right?
Yeah.
We know people when they do sports, they cheat at steroids.
Mm-hmm.
We know the Houston Astros were like banging shit getting on garbage cans,
Garbage can
and,
signaling,
like
yeah.
sending signals through chess stuff and everything. Right? There's been refs throwing games, illegal recruiting.
Yeah.
I've got another one. The greatest cheating I think ever, and I'm going to just say this to you: weighted balls and fish pieces.
I heard about that. Yeah, the two fishermen. Yeah, it was like a fishing tournament,
Yeah.
and I don't know the story, but yeah, apparently they put like little
their
weights in the
stomach or
fish.
something,
Yeah,
right?
to
Yeah.
make it the fish
Make it
seem
heavier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I heard
so we
about
win
that.
first place. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so two Ohio fishermen, okay, they're in all these tournaments, I guess, in that area. Now, I had no idea that fishing was this big.
Yeah, it's a tour. There's a tour.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's like $30,000 a weekend you can win.
Yeah.
If you're, I can't believe I'm saying this. These words, professional fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, professional fisherman.
Yep.
Okay, you can make $30,000
It's
a
a pro,
weekend.
there's a pro tour.
A pro
Yeah,
tour.
yeah. Mhm.
So these guys are doing this, and I guess what they're doing is they've been winning and really winning and really winning.
Like Lance Armstrong.
Yeah. So now they're not only getting like $30,000 a weekend, but there's $100,000 bonus at the end of the year for the guys who have the highest weighted fish.
Top 3 finishers and whatever. Yeah,
Right,
whatever. Yeah,
right.
So,
So they're winning all the time.
Yeah.
And so finally somebody says, "What the fuck?" And this is the best part. They have all of this on video. Somebody's just like, the first thing the guy does is, "Somebody get your phone out and record it." And there's like a ton of people recording this. And so he takes the fish of the winners and he starts cutting them open. And he reaches in, and the first thing he does is he pulls out a giant metal ball. I'm talking about like half the size of a tennis ball, but solid steel. And he throws it down. He goes, "God damn it!" And he cuts another one open, and he pulls out another metal ball. And then he cuts one open, and they just stuffed extra fish into the fish.
so obviously, let's just say hypothetically, you find one fish with a weight in it, and you could technically say, "Oh well, that fish could have swallowed." You know, they find alligators with stuff in their stomach. But if you have all your fish have something in them, yeah.
Ted, it was half the size of a tennis ball.
Yeah, so it would be impossible to even fit down the fish's throat. They
Why would a
obviously-
fish, Ted, unless a fish, why would a fish eat that? But okay, so they do the whole thing, right?
And these guys are standing there the whole time. They got busted red-handed. That's
They're
great.
right there. The guy's standing right there,
Yeah.
and he's cutting his stuff up. And he goes, he looks at the guys, and he goes, "What do you got to say?" And the guys say absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the best part. They say absolutely.
Was this just like a fellow
nothing.
competitor, or was this like one of the judges?
No,
Yeah.
fellow competitor. He's like, "I know you guys are full of shit."
Yeah.
And he's cutting it open, right?
Yeah.
And so these guys were almost like murdered right
Yeah,
there
yeah.
while this was
Sure.
happening. Okay, so now fast forward months later. Okay, months later, the entire time these two fishermen, after they on video, I watched it on video, cutting it open, they kept saying, "No, we didn't do it. Yeah, that was just in the fish." By the way, frozen pieces of fish were inside the fish and these giant metal balls, right? So now they're
Wait,
literally
and are the fish the same size they're catching have to be the same size as the other fish? They're just heavier fish, right? It's not like the fish are
they're
like
heavier by like double or
yeah.
triple.
But I'm saying like so this guy catches the second place guy catches the same size fish as the first place guy, but for some reason the first place guy's fish weighs twice as much as the second place guy's fish.
That's it exactly. So now, literally, this is the best part. This is the best part. Right up until they are walking into right into the courtroom for the trial. All these two guys are like, "We're innocent. We're innocent." They walk in and they realize that this could be gigantic against them. They go, "Yeah, we did it. We'll take a plea." That time, which at that point I wouldn't even have done it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm all ready to go, I wouldn't even do it. You ready for this? This is the part that freaked me out. So they lost. They got convicted.
I'm assuming they're barred from ever competing again.
No, not even forever. It's like a couple of years.
Oh, that's it?
But
That's like less than Will Smith.
here's what
Back to the
here's
Oscars.
what they had to give up, and
Yeah.
here's the thing that freaked me out. The guy had to give up his fishing boat.
Oh, that's
Okay.
interesting. Not his fishing license, but his fishing boat.
His fishing boat.
Okay.
How much do you think his fishing boat cost?
Well, let's just say $25,000 if it's a tricked out boat.
Nah, probably much more.
Go ahead, take a guess.
200 grand.
$100,000 boat to sit on to fish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well they
What
have
the
all the tricked out electronics and everything on it.
Yeah, it probably got sonar. It's probably got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of just like a little rowboat, but these guys probably have a covered
yeah,
boat
no,
where it's
it's
like
nice.
top of the line. You know, like anything you're professional, anything you got top of the line, everything.
Dude, $100,000 boat to sit on and fish? What? Maybe I don't get it. It's fishing. What do you
obviously,
need?
but obviously, there's big money involved. So
But I don't understand what $100,000. I get $100,000 like speedboat.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can drag like 7 people behind and do like water skiing and all that shit. How do you have a?
I'd have to research it, but it's like NASCAR. There's got to be standards, right? Because there's only like so much you could do to the car. Because remember how people get busted in NASCAR, like they make it too aerodynamic, and then they get fined for it after.
Ted,
the fact.
I don't think if your boat goes real fast, you're a better fisher.
No. But I'm saying like what I don't know what advantage the boat could possibly have. Other than just having some really nice amenities on it, because it's not going to help you fish better, because you still have to drop your line into the water, which is
Well,
what catches
I'm guessing
the fish.
it allows you to hide very heavy weights that you can stick inside a fish's ass.
A lot of small
I
compartments.
have no idea. It just here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. We've just taken cheating in sports to such a phenomenal level that it just is anything real anymore? Is any sport we see real?
Well, I mean, just figure this. Anytime there's a competition where there's money involved, somebody's going to look for an angle. Now, you can call that cheating. You can call it hyper competitiveness. But yeah, I mean, so any competitive sport. I mean, I played slow pitch softball. Where the top prize is like $200, and there's some guy there with a shaved bat. Because he wants to hit the ball 400 feet instead of 250.
And you're a bowler. How do you cheat in bowling, though?
Oh, there's ways to do it. So.
Yeah.
What?
Throw an 8-pound ball. I
Why-
mean,
why? How would an 8-pound ball be better? Everybody would throw an 8-pound
I'm
ball.
kidding. So.
Oh, you can throw a ball that's heavier though, right? I've heard of that.
16 is the highest you can
Yeah,
go.
but guys throw heavier balls.
Yeah, sure. Well, you can't have a 20. I mean, technically every ball is 16. To get like a 20-pound ball, number one, that would probably hurt your arm. I don't think it's going to make you knock down more pins, but I think there's a novelty item. You can get like a 17 or 18-pound ball, but it's rare. I mean, so I think
just give a 16-pound ball steroids.
yeah, or just the way to cheat in bowling is just don't bowl your true score. Like if you could shoot 200, you shoot 175 every day. And then you go to a tournament, and you got a handicap for a 175 average, then you shoot 200 if you can pull it off.
Oh, that's what you do, Ted.
I don't sandbag.
What?
I haven't won any money in bowling for years. I just bowl for fun.
What? You just said you won money. I
won my money back, and I won it through a mystery pot. That means I bowled a score.
A mystery pot.
They drew a number out of a hat, and my number was the winning number, so there was no skill involved. I'm embarrassed.
That's the best. That's really the best you can do. So is bowling like golf for you?
I like bowling. It's fun. I mean, but golf is hard. Golf's hard, so you got to watch those fuckers in golf, though.
Yeah.
No,
you can't watch
the only
people.
difference between bowling and golf is that it's not going to rain when you bowl.
Yeah. So I actually did read this story about golf. It's pretty funny. They say if like you play, and I thought about Bob next door. Basically, if you see a guy in jeans and he's using really old clubs, it's either two things: either he's a scratch golfer or he's really bad. There's no in between. He's not going to be like a 12 or 15 handicapper. So if you see a guy in jeans, he's either scratch or he's
That is true.
yeah, or he's using hickory clubs or something. I've read stuff on
So
TikTok.
kids I always wonder why they called it a wood. That is actually used to be made out of wood.
Yeah, I was reading something on TikTok where the guy's like he got paired up with this guy who like he's using old stuff from like 20 years ago, and he's wearing jeans and like boots, and the guy hits the first ball into the woods. He goes, "You want to play for $50 a hole?" And he didn't win. And the guy who bet him didn't win a hole after that.
No, just say no. No, I told you a story about Bob. So I didn't realize this. Bob's nephew, who this is the funny story. He tells he goes to Arizona. They lose his clubs, they lose his clothes. He has to golf. He works for like DHL or something. He has to golf in his DHL shirt and his boots with rented clubs, and he shoots 1 over par.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I didn't know is that this same kid had a chance to like be a professional golfer.
Well, it sounds like he already is. He just didn't go pro.
Yeah, no, he just didn't want that life.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to have to do that, which I guess that makes sense, right?
I mean,
Because you're on the road all the time.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that are really, really good who could be pro, but I mean, I guess just to go that extra level is just the level of commitment involved. But I bet if they just golfed the casual round, like what's a bad day for them? Like,
and it's so
79.
competitive. I mean, within a few strokes for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
There's a difference between going home with some money in your pocket and going home broke.
Same with
the mystery prize.
Same with bowling. I was probably a couple of shots away from finishing in second place, but made a mistake, and so I had to rely on luck instead of skill. So that's okay.
Wouldn't that be great if in golf you're like, oh man, you were in 77th place, but whoever shot 72 wins today. It's like, that was me, man. I get $1 million. Yeah, I'm way above average.
Well, I mean, so the way to cheat in golf, I'm guessing, is like, okay, obviously it doesn't matter. Well, I'm just saying it doesn't matter if you're just playing for fun, but I guess if you're playing somebody for money one-on-one, that's when you'd become hyper aware of what people are doing. So if you see a guy and you've seen him for, say, 10 weeks in a row, he shoots in the 95 to 98 range, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he shoots like an 83. Now,
he could just be having a good day.
That's a really good day.
Well, I mean, I shot a 270-something once. I haven't ever gotten there before, but the guy who I was playing against that day probably was just like, You cheating son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody probably thought I was talented. And I'm not. I'm not even close to being talented. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, well, the closest they got in cheating in golf was those belly putters, because they could certain balance it,
Yeah, they could anchor it. They could anchor
yeah.
the putter, so.
I don't know,
But even
man.
that, I mean, how much can that really help you?
I don't, well, it's like these novelty items, like the pyramid putter they advertise or whatever it is, where it's like if you buy this putter versus this putter, you're going to save 7 strokes off your score, or like if I buy this wood, it's going to eliminate my slice. I'm going to split the fairway every single time, which obviously is not accurate because, like you said, the DHL guy who's using rented clubs that probably
Rented clubs playing in boots.
Yeah, John Daly, he plays in jeans and shirtless.
I think he plays in an alternate state of reality most days.
Has a fifth of
he was
vodka.
drinking a few John Daly's on the course.
Yeah, I think he's kind of lost his shit. All right, man, we got to put this thing to bed. Man, Stan, it is so funky to have you sitting here because you were sitting here before what?
For a
Right
year
before
ago.
Christmas.
For a year ago.
Right
It's been
before
a year,
Christmas,
yeah.
over like a year and a half
I was
ago.
telling Stan this is like episode number 60 something, so that's obviously 52 weeks. So it's been a long time.
If this is episode 60, it would have been 60. If this is episode 64, Ted, it would have been 63 episodes ago. Are you not doing?
You know what I
Oh,
mean.
Man, yeah. All right. So, Stan, I don't know if you listened to the end of any shows. You did not. Don't worry, none of our guests do. At the end, we always let people have the last words. Right? You're gonna kind of leave us with stuff. I never make the guests do it first. Teddy, your last thoughts.
Hey, it's good to have Stan back on. Hope we can golf this week at some point, and I'm looking forward to golfing at some point this week. We don't get rained out.
It's April. What does it say? April showers
Spring
make
May
you
flowers.
not golf.
Okay, exactly.
Not
April
gonna-
showers means no golf. Golf's
So
canceled.
that's your final thought. You just want to golf. I like that.
Well, I want to golf better, not just golf. I mean,
So this is a wish or a prayer?
it's a hope and a dream.
Little baby Jesus, can you make Ted play better golfs? All right, Stan. Last thoughts.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite. Spring's in the air. Election day tomorrow here in Chicago. So,
oh God,
I know it seems like it's been elections right and left, but so
That's right. The mayor's going to be decided tomorrow, right?
it is.
Yeah.
It's about as simple as a ballot as you can get. There's one office. There's 2 picks.
Yeah.
So should be nice and
so
quick.
let's see. So hanging chads,
Pregnant chads.
yeah, all sorts of improprieties. So you know what,
Dominion voting machines automatically switching votes just for no purpose.
dude? You realize at some point, this is kind of funny. You realize at some point, Fox News might have to give Dominion
There was $1 billion defamation suit.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah. And you know what? There'll be no sharks with lasers on their heads and none of that shit. Yeah, that is real, man, and that is probably actually going to happen. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this. Stan is really cool. We've been trying so many weeks to get you back on and have you come on. I love doing this, and I love having you on. Teddy, thanks for showing up sober.
You're welcome.
Okay. And I'm going to burn your phone, just so you know. Just so you know, I'm going to make you leave your phone upstairs so that you can't touch it. Yeah.
Oh, like a safe deposit box. Like when you go take a test, they make you leave your phone and you got to show your ID when you come in. Like you take the LSAT or something, so you're not cheating. So you're not getting all the answers.
Wait, I have a test coming up. I can't bring my phone.
Well, you can now. Just you have to tape it to your ankle.
Holy shit. Okay, so can I get Chat GPT like into my brain? Is that a possible thing? Oh man. All right. So it's been great. It's a lot of fun. We will see. Mark will be back next week. We got maybe a very special guest. It doesn't say anything up there, but maybe a very special guest next week. Teddy, you can look up there all you want. It doesn't say anything. I left it blank to mess with
But
you.
if I keep looking, something will materialize. I thought it's like invisible.
Absolutely, absolutely, it will not. I'm leaving this up there as a very kind of like mystery thing for next week. But we've got some very cool guests coming up, and really excited. So everybody, keep listening. Keep telling your friends. Enjoy us. Like us. Check out the website. Vote for Ted and thereal3idiots.com. Check it out. You'll have a blast. Listen up, and we will see everybody next week.